take after take, and you feel free to just call in. 617-779-0985. Can't log in because I'm at the wrong computer, and my phone is way over there, and that stinks. Well, here's the deal, everybody. The Patriots interviewed with Ben Johnson today. They interviewed with Ben Johnson, the hottest name on the coaching market, who is with the Detroit Lions, who had just about averaged 30 points a game this year. It was a Zoom meeting, so they couldn't do it in person. This coming off interviewing Mike Vrabel yesterday, which would a lot of people think that the interview went well, but at the same time was not signed. I'm glad they made it to Friday. So at this point, it sounds like there's two candidates. It's Mike Vrabel. It's Ben Johnson. They've interviewed two other people. But at this point, who else? They've already been denied from Aaron Glenn. Do they have any other offers in there? Is anybody else interviewing? Is it just Vrabel and Ben Johnson? Because to me, Ben Johnson, he's got a lot of destinations. And I know that Mike Vrabel's already had a couple of interviews. But I did want to just compare what both coaches may want for a salary and what comparisons and comps are out there when it comes to current head coaches in the league. We'll start with that coming up in just a little bit. The phone number here is 617-779-0985. We are on YouTube as well, so you can join the chat there. I'll read some of those coming up in a little bit. Bruins stuff. We worked the game last night. The game was almost 4 hours long. It was horrible. It was depressing. And quite frankly, there's no way to fix this thing. There's no way to fix it. But today, oh boy, the captain of the team, instead of, he took some accountability after he kind of crapped all over someone. But the Bruins have problems, and I don't think I need to tell you that. You can just watch the games. But I think they have a major problem, and it's with their captain, Brad Marchand. We'll let you hear the audio coming up in just a little bit. But my take is this. Although Brad Marchand's a made man in this town, he's probably going to the Hall of Fame, part of a Stanley Cup winning team in Boston. He'll be remembered forever for his play and his contributions. But I think now it opens the door where maybe you're the problem, Brad Marchand. And I think it opens the door to move on from the future Hall of Famer. No future contract. What's he even worth? He's not playing to his potential. And chirping at former coach Jim Montgomery, making comments about Jeremy Swayman and his contract publicly. Coming out and speaking up for the team today and looking for other guys' jobs. Looking to take away other guys' jobs, denying reports. I think the problem with the Bruins starts with Brad Marchand, and I think today finally opened the door where the public may be okay with moving on from him. I didn't think it was something they would do. Maybe they would just come to terms on a long-term deal where he can finish his career in Boston. But here it is. Think about this long run of players that have played for the Bruins. Zdeno Chara, what'd they get for him? Patrice Bergeron, they get anything for him? Tuukka Rask, Torrey Krug. Have they netted truly any return? Jake DeBrusk, David Krejci. Did they net any return from any of those players? Any of them? Now is the time. And I don't know what you'll get for an aging Brad Marchand, but I'll tell you this much. Do it. You need a culture change. You have barely any leadership. And he's the last thing that this team has from a championship, and that's just not what they are anymore. Get something in return. I don't know what. I'm sure there are people around the league who would love Brad Marchand on their team. And on the final year of his deal with a little bit of motivation looking for another contract, I think it's time. I think today is the day where it opened the door for that opportunity. Also, we have Mike Vrabel watch, Ben Johnson watch. I just went over everything that happened with Brad Marchand today. There's college football tonight. It's Texas. It's Ohio State. You saw the great game last night between Notre Dame and Penn State. I had Penn State. Notre Dame won the game. I probably already shared to you who I like tonight. But it's been good. And I think that you saw somebody last night that could ascend to the top four to be available for the New England Patriots. There's some quarterbacks on display tonight as well. And I thought one of them yesterday might have made things interesting for the Patriots off the top. And instead, he threw interceptions and it ruined the game. And cost them a bunch. Coaching's the big word. People in New England want to know who their next head coach is. There's a big one tonight. Ryan Day of Ohio State, Steve Sarkisian of Texas. Sark's had his time in the NFL. He's failed. Ryan Day, if he loses tonight, although he's been assured he's coming back next year, that's the kiss of death. It's a big one for Ohio State. You just almost saw Texas get upset. The whole entire world, if you look at the money and the handle and the tickets, it's all over the Buckeyes. It's a good one tonight. I thought last night was a great game. You're going to get another one tonight. Will Howard, Quinn Ewers. Enjoy college football, everybody. We're going to get college playoffs last night, tonight, and then the NFL playoffs this week. I got some predictions for you as we are here tonight until 7 o'clock before we hand things over to the Boston Celtics, who are in action. They take on the Kings. Not really much to get into in that one. But Bruins, Patriots, next head coach, and I do want to go over some of those salaries when it comes to coaches in the NFL. We'll do that coming up next. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening.
communication with ownership so that we understand as coaches what the expectations are. That's so we can explain to them what's reasonable, what we can do, what we probably can do, and what we're going to try to do or die trying. Number one, I want to have a structure in place that people see the game the same way I do, from X's and O's, from personnel, with team building. We would hopefully have that alignment, which is critical. And I would like to say that there's a quarterback that you feel like you could win with, or that there's a path to find the one that you can win with. So, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Patriots have the ownership that Vrabel can talk to. They have the quarterback, but do they have a structure in place where people see the game the same way in terms of X's and O's and personnel and team building? I'm wary of that. I'm wary of this Patriots personnel department. Holdovers who are going to be here, even though we've been told they're just going to be in place for guidance and not final say. Those people were all too pleased to finger the coaches as culprits for the fact that nobody got any better. Sure, the coaches bear some blame, and we've hit them with it, but when the shots are coming from within the building, that's no good. Talk about bad teammates. Where I sit, they get Vrabel, depends on how much leeway he gets to run personnel.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. That's Tommy Curran, NBC Sports Boston, talking about Mike Vrabel and the control. Let me just set the expectation or the table for the Raiders situation. The Raiders wiped out their GM, who drafted very well last year. Got Brock Bowers and a bunch of other guys. He's out. Coach is out. So at least the Raiders have made it clear to other coaches that are available, hey, no GM here. You want the job? You're entitled to run things and bring in a GM and all that. I think the Patriots will do the same thing despite Elliott Wolf being there. So I don't think that should be an issue for the Patriots. But at least the Raiders have that. The Raiders have, hey, yeah, you want, right? No GM, you're our guy, and we'll work that out as it goes. Does Vrabel want that control here in New England? Well, at least if you really wanted, and if it was not a problem for him, maybe you could just axe Elliott Wolf. But it sounds like the Patriots at least want to keep him around. But I'm very aware that if they bring somebody else in, Wolf could be out, and I don't care about the Wolf thing. It's just that the Raiders have made it clear. That's my point. Other thing to that is money when it comes to head coaches in the NFL. Andy Reid is the highest paid coach in the NFL with $20 million, followed by Sean Payton at $18 million, who was traded for a draft pick, I believe. Mike Tomlin comes in at 16, along with Jim Harbaugh, who just won a national championship. Michigan now is with the Chargers. After that, it's Sean McVay at 15, Kyle Shanahan 14, John Harbaugh at 12, Dan Campbell at 11 to go along with Sean McDermott. Here's where it gets a little interesting. Mike McDonald took the job with Seattle this year, replacing Pete Carroll. He got $9 million. Nick Sirianni got $7 million. LaFleur, $6 million. That's underpaid. Zach Taylor's getting $4.5 million. He'll probably get a bump soon. Dan Quinn took a job this year at $4.5 million. McCarthy's probably do a new deal at $4 million. Where I'm going with this is, what's the comp for Mike Vrabel? Right? Is it Jim Harbaugh getting $16 million? No, at least I don't think so. Is it closer to John Harbaugh at $12 million? Yes, but now teams are a little bit desperate. The Patriots are desperate. They have to pay that suck tax. So I would say that Mike Vrabel's anywhere between $12 and $15 million is probably what he's going to ask for, right? Because Jim Harbaugh got 16 last year. Where do you think the Patriots are on that one? You think they want to be where Sean McDermott is? And where I'm going with Mike McDonald, just a year ago, he got $9 million. Well, Ben Johnson didn't take a job last year, came back, wants to be a head coach in this league. Dan Campbell got $11 million. I'm sure Ben Johnson makes Dan Campbell look real good. So shouldn't the comp for him be $9 to $12 million? I think that's where the Patriots want to be. The other thing is, I do think Ben Johnson wants to work with Elliot Wolf. Advantage Crafts, advantage Patriots. I want Ben Johnson. I think if it comes down to money, it's Ben Johnson. And I think in general, instead of comfort, I think Ben Johnson's the guy. Why? The Patriots love to talk about rookie contracts. I think Ben Johnson can get the most out of the rookie contract sooner than later than Mike Vrabel can. That's the side of the street I'm on. I think the Crafts are on that side. I just wanted to give you some comps. I think Vrabel's 12 to 15. I think Ben Johnson's 9 to 12. Either way, the Crafts should pay it. I think Ben Johnson's the better guy. Although unproven. I just like his 30 points per game. Looks pretty good to me. Mentioned the Bruins stuff as well. I already got a couple of people already chirping at me about this. Joe, you think Brad Marchand's the problem, not Sweeney, not Neely, not how the roster's constructed, the captain for sticking up for his incompetent teammates. He also went on to talk about, we need a culture change here. Sure, cool. It was the other station that did it. I backed them. I worked with them. I've been on this night show now for 2 years. I worked with those guys for 12 years. So I'm going to defend the wall here. Brad Marchand's the problem this year. He is. He's not a good captain. If Brad doesn't like that I said that, I apologize, but I'm not sorry. Your play stinks. You've chirped at your own teammates, the coach this year, and now the way that you're chirping about a guy that works a radio job who's not a reporter, just comes on the air and says what he's hearing. And you have a problem with that, and that's your focus? That's on you, bro. Brad Marchand's a problem. It's good to be the guy when you're winning, but now when you're losing, it doesn't look good anymore. And you're not playing to what you used to play anymore. And now you're just talking all the time. I think it's opened the door where if a team that wants a veteran who's won a Stanley Cup and leadership, blah, 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 he's the guy, and this is the perfect year to do it because they haven't cashed in on any of the guys. So sorry, Brad Marchand. Once again, I apologize. I'm not sorry. They should trade your ass. Get something in return. Do the team a solid. That's just my feelings on it. Bruins, Luchador. Let's hear from him. You got to pot him up for me, Skaz, here. Bruins, Luchador, you're on the air. Hello, sir.
How's it going, Joe? How you doing?
I'm good. What do you think of my take?
Not great. Not great. I didn't even call. I called you. I've been on hold since before that take, and I'm going to stay at least 15 feet away from you because I saw what happened to Keith today. I just wanted to tell the Bruins to make it worth it, man. My next game, I paid $700 for my tickets. I work outside in the cold. It's not worth it right now. Make it worth it for us. This sucks, Joe. This sucks.
Well, just to get back to my take on it, because it does suck, don't you think moving on from, where does Marchand fit in here anymore? A pity party for the rest of the time here? Hey, thanks for the great times. He's going to get his number retired. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. How about you help the team now?
I'm a super fan, Joe. You can't ask me questions like that, I'm too stupid to give takes on the air, and I'm not stupid enough to give takes on the air, if you know what I mean. You're not going to catch me like that.
Well, they stink now. They stink.
It's just been it sucks, Joe. It hurts, especially when it's 12 degrees and you got hand warmers in places you can't even speak of. And I think it was the turnover. There's just been so much turnover the last couple of years, and I don't see the chemistry. And I think it's a chemistry thing. They definitely have pieces to play better than they are playing.
Yep, they're in the worst. Thank you, man. They're in the worst spot ever. They're a fringe playoff team, and they're also not good enough. They're just right on it. That's the worst place to be in the NHL. Appreciate the call, man. Skaz, you got to pot up my my screen for me. I know Josh is in Maine. He wants to get in on Vrabel talk. What's up, Josh?
Hey, what's up, Joe? Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, I'd be very concerned. I've been listening to the shows all day today, and yeah, I'd be very concerned if the money thing is a factor because I think the other teams if they're like, ooh, the Patriots already kind of seem skeptical at throwing that kind of money at Vrabel, I think they'll just toss more dollars at him just to become relevant again. But at the same time, oh, man, like, if we lose out on him, and Ben Johnson's like that guy, again, another first-year guy, and that's the only 2 interviews we've conducted. Like, where are we going, Joe? Where are we going?
Where do they get off thinking that one of these 2 coaches want to come here? Especially if it's a money issue.
Yeah. I mean, but...
What's the backup plan? Is Josh McDaniels just the backup plan because it's comfortable? Like, I'm actually curious.
Oh,
is it Brian Flores?
McDaniels. We don't want Josh McDaniels. This is going back to nostalgia, right?
You don't. What do they want?
Living in the past.
What do they want? It's not about what we want. It's what they want.
Comfort. They want comfort.
Yeah.
They want comfort.
Well, they pay for it.
But Vrabel has already kind of let himself be known as to not be nostalgic. It is a decent job, but the way it's been, like, we're just as much of a mess as some of these other teams with less lucrative pieces on our team. We don't have weapons. We don't have anything.
Thanks, Joe.
And it seems like we got a lot of guys that seem to be talking back to the media about how the coaching's been handled. And that's not okay, right?
It's not, Josh. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you. Oh, I said I wanted this to get messy, and some people got on me. Oh, well, you really want the Patriots to look bad and be this way for the next couple of years? No, I don't. I don't at all. But to just think that Vrabel and Johnson and that's it? Are they going to bring anybody else in? Let's talk to John. He is in Boston. Hey, John. You got to pot him up for me. So sorry. He was that line. Hey, John. How you doing, bud?
Seaport. I didn't know if you John Abbasi. Yeah, so I called about trading Marchand.
Yeah, you're on the air, bro. This is Joe.
Oh, perfect. So I've been saying for a few days now, a week, Marchand is not a captain. He is a cool player on a team, and I think you trade him for some whatever you can get for him, and I think the team will be better off in the long run. I think short term the team, may not love it, but I think long term it's the right move.
Yeah.
The DNA of the team needs to change. Not just Neely and Sweeney, but the players.
Yeah, this isn't all right, listen, me talking about trading Brad Marchand isn't about necessarily what he did today. I just think it opens the door for it. I think it's time. Brad is in Plymouth. I want to hear this one. What's up, Brad?
Yeah, hey, how are you? So I was just listening. You were pretty upset that Brad called out the other sports announcer or commentator.
Just so you know, Brad, I don't care, but I used to work with those guys, and
yeah, that's fine.
But Brad, I'm not a reporter. I'm not a reporter. He's not a reporter either. But if he has a take, he has a take, and he wants to call out and say, well, that he's the problem and he should lose his job. Like, I think Brad Marchand's got other things to worry about.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that he went as far to say that he should lose his job. That's ridiculous. But I
told
think
him to go pound sand and go back to the closet he came from.
All right. So, but here's the issue that I have is that the talk radio has a lot of latitude to say what they want to say. Correct? I mean, you guys get controversial takes and stuff because it makes good radio, right?
Yeah, but they make a lot of money. Deal with it.
That doesn't matter,
dude. Deal with it. There's problems on that team. Is he defending the issues of the problems?
So
that makes me think he's the problem.
All right, but you're taking an all-star, a tremendous part of the Bruins' success, a tremendous part of the Bruins, and now you're saying, you should just get rid of him.
No, I'm saying it's opened the door now to not have that. How you feel?
What is open the door?
Open the door, meaning he's not a leader. He's basically is chirped at the coach that got fired. He's chirped about the Swaymans and his contract.
Right,
he's chirping about everybody. That's not a leader, bro. It's not a leader.
So take away his captaincy. If he doesn't want to play without the captaincy, fine.
Oh, that'd be great. He'll really love that. Let me tell you, bro. Let me tell you, this guy. Didn't we just have a guy say he's a great third liner on a good team, whatever? He's like the cool guy on the team. I've literally claimed the guy's a made man. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Again, Brad, I apologize, but I'm not sorry. It's time. You don't play with Pastrnak because you're spreading things out because the team sucks. And yes, that might not be on you, but you know what is on you? Your play. Your play. You've chirped a lot. I think that accountability is very big in this town. Hey, when I lose a bet, I'm accountable. When my take sucks, I'm accountable, and you let me know it. When I'm wrong, you guys chirp me. You talk about my size. You do whatever you want. They make the money. They deserve this. But now calling out other people's jobs, and I can't say it's opened the door to trading them because it helps the team. They didn't help themselves with any of these players during this entire run. None of them. All of them got the whee. All of them did. All of them. Even Torrey Krug, who got paid. All of them did. They all got to stay here. Oh, they're going to come back or not, right? Brad Marchand's in the final year of his deal. There's been no extension. There's been talks, I've heard about it. There's no extension. Why does he deserve an extension? Why? Move on. This era's over. He's all you're latched onto from the era. This has opened the door. He'll get his number retired. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. All that stuff. Marchand with the tongue and blah, blah, blah. It will be here forever. This team, though, it won't be. This team will not be forever. Not this team. They suck. All right. Well, I got to hit the headline here. I went too late. Your thoughts on Vrabel, money, all that good stuff. As we're here until 7. Hey, there's a Celtics game today. Oh, I feel like maybe now we should let you all really hear what Marchand said. Maybe I should let it. I probably should have done that first. Maybe we'll set that up next segment's cast. We'll just play it all out. All right, let's get to the headlines here. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots officially interview with Penn Johnson today. I have no updates on it. It was on Zoom. Couple of all pros for the Patriots. Just there's some sound on it, but I'll just give you the short quote. How did Ben Johnson's interview go with the Patriots? I heard great. So we'll get that in the system for you later tonight because we'll be on after the game. Celtics coming up in just a little bit. Then it'll be us until 11 o'clock tonight. And we get college football as well. I got a pick for you coming up. But Diana Rossini reporting, I heard great on Ben Johnson's interview. So Vrabel or Johnson sounds like the two and only options for the Patriots. We do want you to hear this Brad Marchand stuff. I think it's pretty good. I know it's long, Skaz, right? But I think it's worth it because did you already hear the defenders? There's defenders. How do you defend this? This is Brad Marchand today. Long story short, there was a take on the radio today, which if you want to consider a report or not, again, I am a radio guy. I am not a reporter. But one of the takes was that one of the issues with the Boston Bruins right now is David Pastrnak doesn't want to play on a line with Brad Marchand, and Pasternak's a big issue this year. And well, the captain of the team came out to the defense. So let's hear it right here. It's pretty long and it's pretty embarrassing. So let's hear it.
We've had an incredibly close relationship for a long time. The only reason we don't play together is so that we can spread depth throughout the lineup. There's zero truth to him being a problem in the room. He's one of the most loved guys in the room. There's zero issues in the room at all. And the fact that they say that he's in the center of anything is a completely fabricated lie. So this guy has zero merit to anything he's saying. It's very frustrating because this is what happens. Obviously, we have not pulled our weight this year. We have not had the season that we've wanted to have. But I'm not going to let some random guy come in the media and just spit absolute nonsense.
Yo.
And so, I mean, from this point forward, this guy has zero credibility. The fact that he's coming out with this is ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It just anything that he puts forward in the future is now not going to be deemed as truth because he's completely just making all of this up. And it's unfortunate if he would have done some kind of fact. He probably just made this up. If not, if he would have fact checked, he would have found out that it's all nonsense. There's zero truth to this. It's ridiculous that now that we even have to address it. I wasn't going to address it. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm not going to let it become something that it's not. So this guy can go pound sand, go back to the closet where no one knew where he was before, and report on nothing because that's what he's going to be doing after this.
Oh. In case you didn't hear it, people don't like my commentary about it. Fine. I think it's a terrible look. Skaz?
I think the captain of the team should stand up if a report's out there. I just think he did it the wrong way.
Yeah.
If it's false, if it's something that, doesn't deserve any merit, whatever Marchand said there, just say that. Be like, yeah, it's not true. Not really going to address it because it's not true. Like, maybe we're being a little nitpicky with, how he handled it, but it seemed like it struck a nerve, Joe. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Seemed like he was really bothered by it. And I get it. He's the captain of a hockey team that sucks. If I was the captain of a hockey team that sucks, I'd probably be pretty upset too and have, kind of a short wick about stuff like this. But it seemed like it really got to Marchand, and he's a guy where in the past, things have kind of, gone off his back, doesn't really take himself too seriously, is pretty light with the media. So looking at it from that perspective, it's kind of just... Why that reaction? Why not? Yeah, we're not giving it. It's not true.
It's a bad look.
Yeah, I think he overreacted. If it's completely false, it's completely false. But you're the captain of the Boston Bruins. Your team stinks. You don't have to throw a hissy fit because you didn't like a report.
Yep. And listen, if it's not true, fine. But, saying that guy should go pound sand and go back to the closet you came from and he's not going to have a job after this, that's where I just, for me, that's where I step in and say, hey, bro, this is the job. You make how much is almost $7 million a year, let's call it, and you're not playing like $7 million. You're not a captain right now. You wear the C, but you're not the guy, bro. Were you trying to defend your teammates today? Did it come off bad? Yes, I think it did. And of course, everybody people think that I'm doing this because a radio guy or I like the guy that it happened to. Something's not right with that team. Something's not right with your team, Brad Marchand. You're the captain of that team. I think people are very nostalgic of the Bruins here and love that Stanley Cup team, and you're one of the remaining guys, if not the remaining guy. You wear the captain. You wear the C. You're the guy. I just think that you're going to be a Hall of Famer. Your play is declined. You don't have a contract ahead. Maybe this opens the door to trade him. They have received nothing from any of the players that finished their careers in Boston. They got nothing for them. Now, what do I think they can get for a 37-year-old guy who's declining? Right now, the team's got nothing. You might as well see what you can get. This one's interesting. I just got this tweet. A take is you saying Brad Marchand should be traded. But if you said that Pasta doesn't want to play with Marchand like it was something you heard, then it's not a take. That's a report. As I said, sir, you don't listen. I am not a reporter. I work on the radio. You know how many people send me stuff? Hey, Joe, I saw, what's his name? I saw so-and-so at the Sbarro last night. You know how many times I get that? How many times I get, hey, Joe, this is my insight, da-da-da. If I run with that, like, that's a bad look, right? Hasn't that happened to other people in this town?
Yes, Joe. I think we've had off-air discussions about such things where, oh, yeah, I heard this, I heard that too, yeah. But let's not do that tonight.
Do you know what I do? I text a guy who would know. Hey, man, anything to this? No. Okay, done. Do you know how many guys we work with that have that kind of intel? Like, we do. So I'm just a guy who works on the radio and gives you my opinion. I'm not if I have a source, I'll tell you I have a source. Whatever happened today, I just kind of, I go with that team. And maybe I look like I'm supporting the man that's in my role, or I worked with these guys. I know who they are. I don't think they just float that stuff. Maybe there's something there. Maybe it's not what you think it is, Brad. Maybe there's something there. It's a bad look. I'm sorry. I do apologize, but I am not sorry. All right, let's go talk to Ed. Hey, Ed, how you doing today?
Joe, how's it going, man?
I'm all right.
Great show. Hey, I want you to dig into this because to your point about being kind of in the inner circle and having close access to the team, why won't Kraft, or it doesn't seem like he'll spend money? We're 130 under the cap. We haven't been good in 5 years. I had a friend of mine, coincidentally, who was a nutritionist there for 7 years. He said that he's notoriously in the building known to be cheap and pay vendors and suppliers late. What's your take on this? Like, is Jonathan going to take over at some point? The gentleman's obviously very old. Like, what do you think the future holds?
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate it. I have nothing. All I can tell you is that Pete Carroll made comments about bologna sandwiches. Remember that media report or the players report on the Patriots? They got a pretty terrible grade. They don't like the what was it? The parenting room or whatever it was. They don't like the weight room. There's a lot of stuff there with that. So I would just look at the Revolution soccer team and how that's run. I would just do that. I would also look at some of the players that they may have lost, like a Jacoby Myers. It sounds like I was on Bill, but when you lose guys over $1 million, comes from somewhere. All right, I got a pick on tonight's game. Texas, Ohio State, and the Celtics are playing tonight. And the rest of your calls here. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
think Ohio State does win the game tonight. I still think there's a shot for Texas to win this thing. But I do think that Texas has the secondary to keep up with the wide receivers of Ohio State. But if Ohio State gets out to an early lead, oh boy. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a slower game. I want to take the under, but a lot of these games go wild in the second half. Just give me Texas, hook 'em horns, +6. I'd buy it at 7 if you really wanted to. But I'm taking the horns tonight. Finally, the Celtics coming up in a minute here. There we go. Let's ring that bell, baby. Joe Mazzulla and former players taking shots at current ones on the heels of the Brandon Jennings, Jason Tatum soft comments. I never played in the NBA, so I can't say. Just the way the world works. It all just goes back to humility. If we all just kind of remembered what we were, we wouldn't have so many opinions of other people. Well, it's a lot better than the consciousness one, the pre-consciousness, post-conscious. I don't know where we'll end up on that one, but he also talked about the ups and downs of a long regular season, and well, he thinks it's a typical speed bump, which comes at you at a certain time in the season. You don't know when, but it comes. But we handled that well. Now we're kind of in a situation like it just. He's like a fortune cookie. So open it up. What's he going to say? What's he going to say next? I'm sorry for everybody that called in that couldn't make it on the air tonight. But we'll be here after the game. Till 11 o'clock tonight. You can call in. Right now, we're going to hand things over to Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell. Best in the business when it comes to talking hoops. And we'll do that coming up next. Again, we'll be on until 11 o'clock tonight.